It is time to do one of these again since I haven't done it in a long time. And I am... It is the history of new Championcraft 10. Part 1, because it's gonna be 3 parts. And this part is before the nuke happened and all that weird stupid shit that ruined the season and ruined the whole realm to begin with. This is still the good days. It's still the good days. So this history episode will cover the period between the beginning of its development all the way to the first nuke happened, which was July 23rd, I think. This backup in particular is from July 17th, so a bit of a week or something before the stupid stuff happened. So let's begin. The development started way before the release, all the way in October 2021 when Season 9 was alive and well. And the whole concept of pyramids was born. These pyramids were made during their own seasons, so I didn't even actually plan to have these pyramids in the first place. This was just a centerpiece originally. And these only exist thanks to the 9.5, 9.6, 9.7 Championcraft 4 existence. Because in case you didn't know, they weren't planned to exist. Watch the history of these seasons separately. But what was intended to happen, like after the November 9th, when Season 9 ended, there would be a huge gap since November 9th and June 16th until Season 10, or as it was known then, Project New Summer, would release. And the trailer dropped on December 31st, right before New Year's in Lithuania. And then the name of new Championcraft 10 was unveiled. And since Season 9.5 and Championcraft 4 already existed, this pyramid and that pyramid were already in place. You can check that trailer now. It's kind of choppy since my computer was choppy, and yeah, I should definitely reduce the render distance, since we don't want the same stuff to happen, even though it's recommended. But in all terms, Season 10 was supposed to be the final season that existed. That's why when you go down here to the teleporter, if I could go down here, bam, Season 9.7, 9.5, 9.6, 4, 3, 1, 4, 9, 4, oh yeah, that's not, 6, 5, 2, 5 again, 8, wow, even this existed. It's like, you push a button in the wrong command block, nah. And we also had Earth, like Earth SMP, which was added pretty late in the development, like in June. Like the final 16 days, it wasn't even planned for, but I mean, it exists. It was kind of actually popular. Like, let me go to Australia, for example, where some controversial stuff happened. And yeah, by the way, every country has a pyramid like this, with a flag, and these 3 bits are the colors of the flag, so yeah. And it wasn't controversial yet. So it was still fine. It was fine. This is fine. It's not yet controversial. We will probably see it in the part 2 or 3, where the controversy happens. Like, for example, you go to Europe. Yeah, you see how the pyramids work. I mean, the Earth SMP was actually popular by players, so much so. It took away from the nations aspect of the season. There were no nations. I guess nations in FSMP is basically the same thing, and FSMP was a little bit more unique as the first thing that happened in New Championcraft. So yeah. Also, yeah, old seasons are old seasons. That you saw this before. I think you saw this exact backup before. If you didn't, well, you can download it, or you can just download season 10 with this thing in place. And you push the button to go back. I think later, somehow both of the season 5s got merged into a little room here. Like, you go to, like, late season 6. You know, there's a go back, and then the map room. And I put another folder sign instead of putting the teleportation to that stupid room. Yeah, well, got the 2D2, which is, I think, oh, it didn't exist yet. It didn't exist yet. Skyblock 4 did, and I think this. Oh, this just does nothing. Why the hell? So I guess the Skyblock, no, the 2D2 button was the only one that teleports you to here. I don't know. Also, season 9.6 exists, and probably one massive wrong point of this season is that. Well, let me just show ya. You could access all the loot from previous seasons, which means some players who just went in here would just instantly progress to the maximum. That was a giant mistake that I just forgot to take care of. Is that you can gather loot from old seasons. I should have wiped NBT, but I actually still don't know how to do that. Oh yeah, and I think these point you to that secret room. Yep. So yeah, that's a giant mistake with previous seasons, not just the access of them. I mean, I could just send them in adventure mode, but they would still somehow bypass it by going there. I don't know. Players of Championcraft are very fucking smart in this situation. So yeah, basically having old seasons was a mistake and also a cool feature. So it's both good and bad. And look at that, a shop that no one really ever did anything with, I think. And bam, my actual shop that people stole from, even because I like put the our helm out. I didn't load our crown mod stuff up here, and I forgot to cover one little spot and people stole from it. Yeah, this is also where a controversial thing existed, but it was not yet in place. So look, before the freaking nukes, like, or up until July 17th, nothing all controversial happened though. Except here where a bajillion frogs spawned, but that was more funny than controversial. Yeah, a bunch of weird stuff was happening, but not too weird. I know whose base was it, my brother's, or was it the controversial person's? Yeah, this was the controversial person's, I think. Look at that stuff. Wait a minute. Why was everything covered with freaking obsidian though? That is weird. Also, yeah, collectible maps existed. There was only 6 at this point. Oh my god, like a month since the season began and there was only 6 maps. It's kinda weird. Inside these pyramids, oh wait, you couldn't enter them yet. Just like in the no, it just says here's like the starter stuff. I don't know why it wasn't in the building. Alright, the streets exists, and then the streets go further. Also, Rat made this decoration stuff, by the way. It goes further, and then bam, Symbian Highway. And bam, this was actually a shop before I built that shop. So you just kind of, or was it not yet? I think there was some controversial bullcrap again that turned the inside of Luna's head into a shop for some reason, but it didn't happen yet. I like how basically none of the controversial stuff happened yet in this backup. It was all fine until that dingus came. Malefic really ruined us. And yeah, that was also a mistake. I should have not done that. Look at that, a statue of whatever the hell that is. And Gear's iPod. I didn't build it in season 2, so I built it in season 10. You know, there isn't really all that much to show it because none of the interesting stuff happened yet. Interesting stuff is controversial stuff. There was some disagreements, but nothing that really damaged the stuff. Like, here's where the controversial thing exists, and here's where no, not yet. And here's where another controversial thing existed, except it's a freaking ruin. What is this? Billy Boy. Alright. So, yeah. Early season 10 went pretty well as a season, except well, Bjorn, because of my thing with Chimbucks, and he somehow managed to get a bunch of them, probably just craft them. This is an older version of them. Alright. Why there's 2? Anyway, Bjorn somehow managed to acquire a bunch of Chambucks and then buy like every single possible thing he can buy, and exhausting me so much that I almost quit. But I didn't, and I should have. Maybe quitting at a high point would have been way better. Oh, and this was exactly based off of this was built off of the season 6, well, 9.7 variation of the shop. Because there is even leftover stuff down there, which is kind of funny. But anyway, for some interesting stuff, let's go to the development corner. And as a little fun fact, season 10 is actually based off of... And my headphones work. Why did this auxiliary cable break? The season 10 world is actually based off of this very early, basically the beginning of season 8 world. It's the same world, it just expanded onto. If you go to 00, you see let me go to 00. Bam, you see like the same seed as season 2 in New Championcraft 8, and bam, New Championcraft 8, except 8 is crossed out and now it's 10. This is season 8 still, with all the stuff in the highways intact. Like, load, yep, highways. Season 8 was not based in. Season 10 was built on top of it. Anyway, let's go to the development corner. Come on, unlock. I think this is correct, yes. Welcome to the development corner, where the shop from season 9.7 is here. And it was covered up still. Also, yeah, fun fact, shulker boxes never changed price. They were always the same. And I know what was this all about. I forgot. But he is the collectible map development thinker. This was the last season when I actually hand built every freaking collectible map. And this was all the colors where the collectible maps got built. There were different colors for different backgrounds, as you can see all the way there, cutting through the mountains. And the rune development happened here, there, everywhere. I think the only one rune existed up to this point, which was this, which was pretty much exact recreation of the season 2's mini runes, which is new Championcraft 4 failed to recreate, but this one succeeded at that. You saw how the new Championcraft 4s looked like. They looked like crap. But like, once again, 1 month in, there's nothing really interesting that happened. But then, you know, a hacker started joining me, started getting exhausted, staff started to not be staff. I started kicking staff because they were freaking inactive. Well, not kicking staff, just demoting them. And what the frick is this? This was like one of the final backups where it's all peaceful and stuff. So there's nothing really interesting, so thanks for watching and bye bye.